Next speaker is, this is awesome. This is the first time I'm ever going to get to see him speak live and in person. I hear him on teleseminars like on a monthly basis. He's the guy that trains all of our, does all of our media coaching. So if you've been on any of our TV shows, this is the guy that tells you how to sit and talk and not fly and do eye contact and all that stuff. And he's one of the world's leading media coaches in the entire world. And when he's not working with our team, he's busy training some of the biggest organizations of the world. This guy's been on nearly every media platform, helping CEOs, world leaders, billionaires, expert authors, and entrepreneurs. Some of his clients that he helps with media training include the United Nations, LinkedIn, IBM, Land Rover. I mean, the guy is phenomenal, and we're so excited to have him here. And we do have a quick video.
From his early days behind the camera to his time in front of the lens, Jess Todtfeld has entertained and informed audiences across the world. Later becoming a media and communication keynoter, trainer, consultant, and best-selling author, Jess Todtfeld inspires people to find their purpose, to become calm and confident in their abilities, to create more impact, influence, and income. And later, setting a Guinness record for most interviews given in 24 hours. Whether it's speaking to the media or speaking to an audience, Jess Todtfeld helps people to leverage these opportunities and turn them into powerful marketing might. And he's here to show you how. Please welcome Jess Todtfeld.
Right. Great to be here. Very exciting event, so much good stuff. Even last night at the cocktail party, and we see over there, all of us not just having a good time, but networking at the highest level. And you see over there, Evan over there, who was sitting on that side of the room earlier today. I don't know where he is. Talk about a guy who figured out how to meet every person in the whole event. Right? Didn't he do a great job? Yeah, you should give him some claps for that. It was fantastic. And there's some great ways that we can all be better at networking and connecting with people. It was a whole lot of fun. I got to see some familiar faces over there, some that seemed like they're in drop shadow when we played up there. A few people, Paul Edgewater, who's done some of my coaching, and we had a whole lot of fun, but it's all about, I feel like these are my people. And I'll tell you why you're my people, because the conversations that we had yesterday were on a higher level. And there's Paul, who was sitting over there. There he is. He starts telling me, he says, my kid wanted to start a business selling those rainbow loom bracelets. You know those bracelets? But he needed the $40 seed money to get the loom. And of course, you know, this is this group. He says, well, you know, how are you going to do it? Because if you want it from me, I'm going to have to see a business plan. And his kid made a business plan and did a whole thing. So these are my people. Everyone's thinking bigger and doing bigger things out there. And I'll give you a little background on me. I'll tell you what my talk is going to be. The secret to power and influence, 14 strategies for creating more impact, influence, and income. Do you want that, by the way? Yeah? Okay, then good. All right, good claps. So I'll give you a fuller background on me. As you saw some things in the video, I was a TV producer on the national level, and for 13 years, I worked at ABC, NBC, and Fox. And it was great. I had a lot of fun. I worked at News Talk Television. I also worked at a number of different shows that I worked on: America's Talking Morning, Good Day Live, Live and Wellness, a show called Bugged, Evening Express, a little show called The O'Reilly Factor. Maybe you heard of it. We had a cranky guy. He said, let's see what happens. And I had all sorts of job titles: producer, assistant producer, associate producer, desk assistant, desk runner, video editor, content editor. But the way I cut my teeth as a communication professional was not working in that communication field. It was doing a very specialized type of public speaking called stand-up comedy. I'm glad that now in this part of my life I can get a laugh just by saying that. It was hard to go out there and do that. And whenever I bring it up, people always say, oh, that's good. Tell me about your worst disaster story. Why don't people always want to know your worst? But I will share that with you today, and maybe you can learn something from it as many of you take the stage. So at that time, this is about 15 years ago, it was all about just getting on stage and being out there in front of people. So a buddy of mine, we were working together on this, Pat O'Rourke, he gives me a call and he says, Jess, I got us a gig. And I said, great. What area of New York City, I'm based in New York City, what area of the city is it in? And he said, Piscataway, New Jersey. And I said, all right, that's fine. It's not, central area, but that's fine. It's good. What's the name of this comedy club? He said, McCarthy's Pub. And I said, all right, it's a strange name for a comedy club because it's not, it's a bar, which is fine, but you'll see part of my dilemma in just a moment. So we go down there, and the owner greets me, and she says, Jess, I'm going to show you where you'll be performing. She weaves me in and out, all these people, they're all packed in, and we get all the way to the corner of the room where the band plays. And I'm looking, okay, the microphone is way down low, and I see the bar is there, so people are facing the bar. Oh, that's good. I'm going to be here. They're facing that way. That's nice. And they did set up about 3 rows here, which was okay. I figured, all right, that at least somebody's looking. And I get the mic way up here, and I tap it a few times, and I said, all right, you ever notice? I used to do a lot of that. You ever notice material? It was popular. You ever notice how? And I get 7 seconds into this thing, and a guy in the 3rd row stands up. They don't usually stand up for you. They shouldn't probably be standing up for you if you haven't said or done anything. But he stands up, and he looks at me, and he says, almost that. It was almost that. And he says, shoulda rants. And I said, shoulda what? And he says, shoulda rants. I should point out this means nothing in any language. Which makes it hard if you're going to come up with snappy comebacks, I don't like your face, what do you, should have what? So I decided to do a little assessment of this situation, and I noticed he's got this green woolen hat pulled down with salt and pepper hair sticking out, and he's got a mustache like a caterpillar coming over his mouth, and he's got lines in his face and dirt in the lines. Ugh. And I could tell the way he's holding his Heineken. It wasn't down here. It was a little bit further back. Shoulda rants. So I'm thinking, okay, I don't like your faces out. I won't do that one. And I said something like, okay, thanks for playing, which is not funny. It's not funny. That doesn't help anything. Nobody laughed. Basically what happened, first of all, he sat down. Why? I don't know. Maybe that was the code for him. But he sat down, and I lost, the only people who were facing, I lost them. These people wanted no part of it. They're like, I'm here to drink. Why is some guy talking? And it was no good. But here's what I learned from the situation, and hopefully you can learn this. Always be prepared when you get up in front of people to deal with any situation and be able to change what you're doing to suit the people in the room. I should have dumped my, hey, you never noticed this? Trash bags, why are they so sticky? I should have gotten rid of any of that stuff, and I should have just gone with talking to the people in the room and calling the moment over there. So you have to be willing to change. All right, so Greg mentioned a lot of folks in the room here, or some folks might recognize my voice. I do some of the media training over the phone, and it's been a few years since I've been at one of the events. I kind of keep busy. And what I wanted to do today is a little something different. I want to give you my 14 secrets here, strategies for power and influence. It's a lot of fun for me to be able to share these, and I go all around and talk about it. Here comes number 14. Think like an athlete. Think like an athlete. We've all had those moments of self-limiting, self-doubting thoughts. And I know this is a room that thinks bigger, but we have those moments. An athlete would never do that. A marathoner would never go out there and say, I think it's a little drizzly out here. I don't really like, and these people are in my personal space. These are my slow shoes. They would never do that. It took an extra second and made its way around the room. They would never do that. But we do those things. You know, we put all this energy into things and we say, what if it falls on its face? What if I can't? We've got to get rid of that. An athlete would never do that. In fact, next time you get up here, and these strategies come from my background, obviously, as a communication consultant. So next time you get up and you do one of these, I want you to say, I got this. In fact, it feels really good. I want you to do it with me. I want to see your hands up, and I want to hear you loud and proud. All right? You're going to say, I got this. 1, 2, 3. I got this. Nice. Yeah. It feels kind of good, doesn't it? That's way better than, I don't know, it's drizzly. I hope it's not drizzly in here. That would be bad. Think like an athlete. Number 13 is do something unexpected. Do something unexpected. So I did a little something unexpected when I came up here. I decided to talk about you. I didn't know what I was going to open with as of yesterday, but I said, we'll figure it out. And I did that. For all of you, it could be anything. The advertising guru, David Ogilvy, used to say, if you're selling fire extinguishers, open with fire. And of course, you saw the sizzle reels, and you're seeing a lot of these things. Figure out what's your fire. What can you open with? And I'm not just talking about on a stage or doing media interviews, which is obviously how I run my consulting business and the big thing that I talk about, even one-on-one when you're talking to clients and prospects. How can you open with fire? Number 12 is be memorable. Be memorable. It's easy for me to say, and now go be memorable. How do we do that? Well, not by, if you see this over here, by the old, if I put up my whole notes and you can't really read it, that's terrible. Oh, graphs. Oh, don't do that. This takes away from being memorable. And you can barely read that. In fact, can I get the whole room to just lean in a little? I want everybody, just lean in closely. No, put the graph back up because they're looking at the graph. Okay. Lean in, everybody. Lean in, indulge. All right, no, we don't. Couldn't help it. No, don't do those things that get in the way. So when you're being memorable, don't do a data dump. That is a visual of a data dump. I have something to admit to all of you today. I did a data dump on you a little while ago. I don't know if you remember. It was the list of everything I ever did in my career and all the whole thing. And anytime I do this in front of a group, I got the reaction that I got today, which was this. Everyone went, all right. And then as soon as I hit that, it's this. Everyone slides into their chair. And then, something else is happening. That was the verbal data dump. I'm going to test the effectiveness of a verbal data dump. The list of networks that I worked, I'm going to break it into 3 groups here. List of networks. This is interactive. You can yell out. What are some of the networks I worked at? ABC, Fox. No, just the networks. ABC, Fox. NBC, not CBS. All right, there's only so many networks. You got that one. Now the shows that I worked on. What were the shows? O'Reilly, that's recognizable. It got so quiet. All of a sudden. It got so quiet. Okay, we got one. We got one of the, and I named about 9 shows. Tonight Show. Now, I wish the Tonight Show. I'm still working on that. All right, then I mentioned all of the different job titles that I had. I even made up a few other ones I didn't have because I needed to do it for this test. What are some of those job titles? Producer, assistant producer. And I wish movie star. I'm going to take that guy with me on the road. What was that? Desk runner. Chef, not chef. Assistant. Maybe I'll give you 5, and I rattled off about 18. Then I did something very different than a data dump. I told a story about a very specific type of public speaking situation. So let's do the same thing. Let's do a little test here. Who are the characters in the story? Me? My friend? The owner of the pub? And the guy that, you got 100% on that one. All right? Well, we're going to talk about him in a second. So give me the setting. What was the setting like in this place? Crowded? Bar? I was in the corner. What from up there? The what? I was in the corner. 3 rows of chairs. When you're getting even more specific. What else do you remember? And the bar, the microphone's low? Exactly. A lot of these specifics. Now, there was a gentleman that I brought up. What do you remember about him? Let's figure out. Green hat. We remember the exact color of the hat. Hair like what? Lines in his face. Dirt in the lines. A caterpillar mustache. And what was the brand of beer? Heineken. That's being memorable. If you tell stories, and we've heard this point a few times today, and Nick did a great job talking about it. If you use stories, people will connect to you. I didn't say, pay attention, there'll be a quiz later, right? But you had 100% retention. Oh, and what was the point? By the way, if you tell a story, make sure you have a point. Ellen DeGeneres had a book a few years back called My Point, and I do have one. So always have a point. What was the point of the story? Always be prepared. And be able to change and adapt to the audience. This is a great room. This is fantastic. You guys have 100% retention. The data dump doesn't work if you want to be memorable. And is it important to be memorable if you want people to act on what you say, take action, do something? Absolutely. So go out and go be memorable. Tell those stories. And make sure, as you see here, don't use a data dump like this here. In fact, let me take it off here. The low Swiss corporate tax rate. It was up there for a while. What was it?
I lived for that stuff, but I just forgot.
He did? What? No. Less than 2%. Let's punch it back up here. No, 23.5. That's not less than 2%. Oh, come on. I'll tell you what. I'll give that guy a chance. The ESOP was on there. What was that about? Right. All right, let's take a look back here. Oh, it's being implemented. Yeah. Oh, of course it is. Why wouldn't it be? Whether you do a verbal data dump or you do a screen data dump on people, it won't help them. The way our brains work as human beings is we remember visuals over text, and this is why stories work. All of you were visualizing that guy with the Heineken beer and dirt and lines in his face and the hat. All of you were seeing him. And also the way our brains work, if I see one of you on the street a year from now, before we remember each other's names, we'll both say, hey, we know each other, the thing, Hollywood, right? That's the way our brains work, those visuals, and not the data dump. All right, number 11. You think I wouldn't have to say, smile, right? You know, you go out there, those people. That's the grumpy cat from the internet. But we know those people who are out there. And I had the conversation a little bit impromptu last night about this with Liz Potter. She's a star. I don't know if you know. She's right here in the front row. I stole that off her Facebook page this morning when I said, I got to use that. But Liz was saying, just smiling at someone is giving them a gift. You walking into a store, the post office, and you smile at someone, they smile right back. It's also a way we draw people in, and it obviously plays into the like, know, and trust. You got to follow it up with being able to know what you're talking about. Make sure on social media that you're smiling and that you're not one of those faces. It's not bringing people in. Stick with the smile. It would be much better. All right, number 10, connect on an emotional level. Connect on an emotional level. How do we do that? Well, we had this cocktail party last night, and some people seem to do a really good job of it, Some people, maybe not. In this particular group, this is more enlightened group. I didn't see a single person who did the old thing of, hey, nice to meet you. Here you go as a card. It's nice to meet you. I'm all right. It's good to. Nobody did that. That'd be silly. All right, we're breaking stuff. It's only good if I break at least one thing in my show. All right, we didn't see that. The way you connect on an emotional level is take an interest in other people. I'm even going to say it in a different way. Be a human being. If you're a better human being, and this is partly from my buddy Clay Dugas, who's in the back row there. He has a talk that he's done where he said he became, by being a better human being, he became a better lawyer. We'll see now I messed up his line for his speech tomorrow. But we'll see. Being a better human being will connect you with people, take an interest, and make sure it's real and authentic. All right, number 9, read people. Read people. Again, I should clarify, right? Read people. How do you know when you're talking what they're thinking? We're back to that again. How do you know? You look at their face. You look at their body language. You don't need to be a body language expert to know that means you're boring them to tears. And of course, people's favorite subject is what? Exactly. So that is an easy place to go in a conversation. Turn it into a little talk show. Interview them. So what are you doing? How did you do that? Where are you from? And it's a great conversation. All right, number 8, add value. Always be looking to add value. On the back of my business card, I know I'm not the only one here in the room who has different ways of giving more. I have a communication toolkit. It's free, and there's videos and all that stuff. Anybody who has that can now get stuff. When I meet people, if I hear about their situation, I might just give them something. How can we always be adding value to the situation? It's basically taking what you do, your product or service, and but wait, there's more. That ShamWow guy. I don't think he's doing too well right now. That's another story. All right, number 7 is give to give. We've all heard this other phrase, which is give and you shall receive. It's from some book. Also a bestseller. The Bible, that's right. Bible. Which is great. Yes, give and you shall receive. But my only problem with that phrase is if you're hoping something's going to come back in return. And when you let go of that, even bigger things happen. Of course, we know it hopefully feels great to give. But when you look for those give to give moments where I just helped somebody for no reason. I held that door. It was just a tiny little moment. I held that door. And then I slammed it on it. No, that's something it's the rest of my personality coming out. Give to give. Number 6, have a personal mission statement. Have a personal mission statement. Now, hopefully, the people in this room, you have a business mission statement, but maybe you do or don't have a personal mission statement. This should be the driver. It's separate from your business. It may be closely aligned, but it's where should you be putting your efforts? What should you personally, as a human being, be getting involved with? Would you like to hear mine? All right. So I thought about this over the years long and hard, and I got it down into 3 words, which is teach, entertain, and inspire. And anything I get involved with has to be run through that filter, and if it doesn't match, then I shouldn't be doing it. And it served me well. But there's a great part of it, which is the flip side. So for teach, I want to be learning everything I can from the people that I encounter. That's why I had such a good time last night. That's why I like to be a part of their events. Entertain, I should also be finding the joy in the people that I'm interacting with and my clients. And inspire, ideally I should be inspired by the people that I'm working with. So if it can go in both directions too, it's great. What's your personal mission statement? Hopefully you write a little something down, and if you don't have one, put it on your list that you should be doing that tonight. Or at least start it. Start it, draw a circle, and go back to it. Number 5, celebrate small victories. Celebrate small victories. When we were kids, we would get the old gold star, and it made us feel good. But as time went on, we stopped getting those things. And as we become more successful, we don't take those moments to celebrate small victories. Salespeople will sometimes have a bell, ding, we made a sale, ding. So you need to do something that works for you. I have something that I like to do that makes me feel good when I close a big deal or something great happens, because those moments they'll go like that. And maybe you can stand up, because I want you to be a part of this. I want you to experience this. So everybody stand up. I like to have a 1-minute dance party. You can put this up on the screen over there, if they put it up. I pick a favorite song. I just closed a big deal, or I just found actually I'm gonna be on the cover of a magazine, a speaker magazine. I'm excited about it. What do I do? I hope you join me. Don't leave me hang on this one. Who doesn't have a minute for a 1-minute dance party? I actually started that when I still worked in TV in a busy newsroom. Something would work well. I'd turn up my speakers loud, and I'm dancing on my chair. And they said, "You are weird. Are you still working here?" Thankfully, I'm doing my own thing. All right, number 4, learn something new. Always be learning. Actually, on my grandmother's tombstone, it says, "Always be learning," which is weird because she's still alive. It's so weird. No, she's not still alive. She's not. We made the tombstone for the sake of my talk today. No, she's dead. No, always be learning. It's my personality. I can't help that. Always be learning. So, I brought up Clay over there. Clay and I, he doesn't know it. There he is. We're book buddies. We keep saying, "Hey, have you read this book? I'm reading this book. Oh, I didn't know about that. You should read that. Oh, all right, I'm going to go get it." You can go on Amazon. Oh, I read this great. You should read this other one. We do that. Brian Tracy says, if you read a book a week in your area of expertise, imagine where you'd be in 1 year. Actually, I did that for a little while. Probably about 40 books instead of 52 in a year. Stop keeping track. And it doesn't have to be that. You could take a cooking class. And you don't have to ever say, "I want to become a big chef." Do something new. It could be a karate class. For me, actually, in my town, I decided to step up with the Cub Scouts, and I am the local Cub Master. You can see on there. Thank you. I take red eyes and get back, and they have no idea what I've been up to. Those kids are tying knots back there. And actually, put it up for one more second, because this summer, very proud, I learned how to make fire without matches. I think they caught it on video.
Look what I have burned.
Yeah,
I have burned fire.
that was the moment. I felt it was an award-winning moment. But anyway. All right, it was a dance moment. Number 3 is become a student of selling. And I know I'm preaching to the choir on this one, but there's always something new out there. There's always some new way of using all of the amazing materials that we put together that you can sell, and sell in a way that feels good and authentic and connect with people. You want to also be somebody who learns to love objections. Love objections. Obviously know who your target market is. You don't need to try to convince everybody, but love them. And you want the people you speak to, your prospects, and clients to feel like the house, and the house always what? Exactly. You want them to feel, and ideally they should win. Both of you should win. All right, we're winding them down here. Number 2, practice power poses. The heck is this? It's almost like Jess is going to make us do something again. All right, stand up. You're going to like this. You're going to like it. All right, stand up. All right, there's a great TED Talk. Amy Cuddy, maybe some of you saw it. She knows. I want you to do this for 2 minutes while I explain. Put your hands up like you won the race. Woo! There are statistics out there, not statistics, they're studies. Amy Cuddy is the one who did the study that says if you do this for 2 minutes, the cortisol, your stress hormone, will go down. Keep doing it. And testosterone goes up. That means you're going to feel less stressed and more powerful. That's pretty cool, right? Imagine before you have that big client meeting, or you go on stage, or you do that TV interview. You wouldn't do this in front of people. My wife asked me. She heard me saying this to someone. Do you say they walk out, I'm ready for the interview? If there are bears in here, they will be scared away. That's how you scare a bear. Anyway, so you do this. All right, you can put your hands down. How'd that feel? It felt awesome. It makes us feel great. Now the opposite. Oh, you can all sit down now. And stand up and sit down. Now pray. The power. I will never leave the stage. I want to show you something here. We had the polar vortex. That's my 9-year-old Miles. We had the polar vortex in New York last winter, and this motion is seen in the wild. Young children, blind people who have never seen anybody do it. And if you put it back up here, he was throwing snowballs at his friend's face, and we got one of them, and yes, he made it. I was so proud. I took a picture and used it and wrote off my iPhone, so I made sure to do that. The opposite, if you coil up, people who are waiting for a job interview or TV interview, they coil up. They just kind of like, you're sitting there like this. What happens is testosterone goes down, cortisol, stress hormone goes up. You're going to be less powerful and more nervous. So next time you're getting ready for something, say, I got this. What is it? I got this. And do those power poses. I got one more for you. Practice gratitude every day, even when things aren't going your way. Oh, it's so hard if things aren't going your way. Laying in bed, I tested myself on that. I got that one of those flus that went on for like a month. So those first few days, I'm still grateful. This reminds me. Into the second week, why did I make that one of the things on the list? I have to live by it. So make sure that you have gratitude for all the great things that we have. So my last thing I want to say is that I'm grateful for all of you, for all the big things that you do, and the energy that you've given to this whole room. And thank you for having me. I do have one other thing. Bonus. Does anybody like bonus stuff? We all love bonus stuff. I have a few other things that I could tell you that maybe help with getting more referrals. You want to know some of those things, maybe? Okay. Now, before I do that, I just want to mention I have something exciting. If you could leave the slides going here. We've all teamed up here, DNA and me. The last time I did an event with these guys where I was actually physically there was about 4 years ago. And this is going to be really exciting and awesome. It's kind of like 3 events in one. We're only going to be able to let 15 people in because I really want it to be very personal and focused. But day 1 is a big cocktail party, but it's not a cocktail party. It's a big focus on how do you network in a way where people remember you and they want to take action, and how you can get action to happen. You know, we saw Evan over there There he is on the bottom corner. He was out there last night. He had his way of making sure every person in the room knows him. And he got mentioned here. He didn't know he was going to get mentioned. And by the way, all the people who thought it was kind of goofy, he's got this big stick, and come in for the big selfie. You're on his Facebook page. You got to go tag yourself because you're going to be seen by the thousands of followers that he has.
What's up? This is
He also has this video.
I want to introduce you to a great group of people. Watch out. They're amazing. We have about 300 best-selling authors here at the party, as you see. But this is a group that you need to know, okay? Guys, this is how we roll. We have a good time. Huh? Do we have a good time?
There are a lot of ways you can network like a rock star, and people can really remember you. And I have his card. I was saying, who is this guy? And you can just put it up there. That's day 2. I'm going to show you some interesting new ways, and everyone will network with each other. Day 2, first half of the day, we're going to do focused media training. Second half of the day, you're going to record interviews just like you've done with some of the other ones, but with me as host. And the first half of the day, I'm going to show you the answer system. That's a way to get the perfect answers into every story. And when I say the perfect answers, it's not just, hey, I'm snappy, I got snappy answers. It's about, what are you trying to create? What do you want as an outcome of somebody watching this video? I'm going to lead you through the process so you say those answers, and I will ideally help with some of those during the interview. Day 2, it's a little dark there, but sound bites that support those, and focus on camera practice beforehand so you know what you're going to look like, and you have that confidence that you can go out and you've said the answers that you know will drive people to take action on your website when they see it. And I'm just going to take a quick minute and let a few people who were in one of the past programs talk about that program.
Going to that class for the day was incredible value. I got so much information.
So what did I learn from the workshop? I'll put it to you this way. I seem to have learned how to move, speak, talk, think. I mean, about everything that goes on when it would be related to doing an interview or media. That's why I have so much confidence.
I took the workshop because I wanted to really hone some presentation communication skills that I thought I already had, that I felt good about. But really the issue for me was in really honing the messages.
And being able to really hone down my message was just so vitally important. The number one reason I was there. And you guys really narrowed it down, got me into those sound bites. I was really very, very pleased. I want to thank you a million times over. It was well worth it.
I was in such a confident, comfortable state that I just hit it out of the park. And I really believe that all started with Jess.
We are investing in ourselves, so thank you for helping me be the best I can do. Sincerely. Thanks.
The point is getting your message out, being clear, compelling, inspiring, and all of that.
I did media training the other day. On a scale of 1 to 10, I gave Jess an 11.
An 11, we'll turn it up. This is the Spinal Tap. It cracks me up in it. We'll turn it to 11. It's one more. Bad accent. So we have the training in the first half of the day, and then I will be the one interviewing you. So you saw I have my time behind the camera. I actually had a nice, good chunk of time in front of the camera, not just with these guys, which I did host about 4 years ago, one of the shows, but I know how to lead you into saying those things you need to. So we had Chuck Boyce in one of the shows.
Welcome to America's Premier Experts. I'm your host, Jess Todtfeld. Chuck Boyce is the independent executive, and he used to be on the corporate fast track and realized it was the wrong track. Chuck, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Now wait a second, I thought it's a good thing to be on the corporate fast track.
Well, for some people it is good to be on the corporate fast
So
track.
it's one thing to have an interviewer who leads you, but it's another thing if they can give you something that you can quote, and quote in bios, and quote in your marketing material. Here's something I did with one of the other guys.
You can change your life right now and make it exactly what you want it to be.
You know what I love about this guy? He's like Dr. Phil meets Pearl Jam, right? I mean, that's what you got it down perfectly, but you're younger and hipper.
Right.
Dr. Phil meets Pearl Jam is something that he now uses and can use for the longest time. Say, the man the media calls. I realized this back when I was a news producer, and we had a guy who wrote a book on ghostwriting, and I wrote the intro. He's the ghostwriting guru. To this day, it's almost 20 years later, he still uses it. And he's the man NBC News calls. It's great, and I just wrote the thing. So I realized I can do that in an interview, and you can quote me, and we'll come up with those in advance. I had to do it, for me, I had to do it the hard way, which was I had to wait until something appeared in the newspaper, and then sometimes they got it right and sometimes they didn't. Actually, I told you I go around the world and I train people on this. I have a CEO that was on CNBC yesterday, and I want you to notice in his opening answer, in 30 seconds, you not only have a clear sense of the value proposition of what he does in his company, but there's a call to action and he can drive people authentically to do something.
Tell us why your model, though, has been working so well, and the adoption of online, from what I've read, has been a big catalyst.
Yeah, so LevelRe is the first online full-service real estate brokerage that allows buyers and sellers to manage and control the entire home sale process and save thousands of dollars while they're doing it. We leverage technology to make it much more efficient, to make the whole process simpler and easier for everybody, and really lets them save and have a much better user experience. For as little as 1% in our model, you can list and sell your home, and then on the buy side, when you're ready to purchase, you can hit our one-click offer button, and you can purchase a home almost anywhere in the country, and we'll give you a rebate, effectively reducing your net purchase price. And our goal really is to save consumers $1 billion over the next 5 years. We're really excited about this, and we encourage everybody to go to levelre.com and check out the technology and see what we're all about.
First answer on CNBC in front of the world. We know what the product is. We know that you can go there and you can get offers. What's that about? And hey, go check it out. Authentic. Not just, and please go to the website, www. He didn't do that. He did it in a way that makes you say, well, I'll check that out. I'll see what that's about. Again, I had to do it the hard way. I got into all of those papers. The Washington Post said, Jess is a media training expert. Okay, now I can finally use that in bios. Washington Times, the public relations maven's way in, Jess Todtfeld said, finally, okay, now I can use that. But what we'll do is we'll come up together with that perfect soundbite that the media said about you. So that's day 2, the media day. Day 3 is public speaking speech day. First half of the day training, second half of the day you go and you give your presentations, and it's all recorded beautifully in HD by the whole Nick Nanton team, DNA team. So we're due, again, workshop, you're on camera, you're doing all that. Here are a few people who are in a program this summer. I'm just over here.
It's something that I can take something away and go, oh good, I have this done. And this applies to my practice, it applies to life. It applies to refining things and expanding things, and I love all of that, that I actually took away something that's valuable for me.
I'm Matt Warren, I'm an attorney in Overland Park, Kansas, and I have to say your presentation yesterday was the best I've heard, and I've been going to these seminars for 4 decades now. Yesterday just blew me away. That was the best one I have ever heard. And you taught me all the things I've been doing wrong for 40 years. I appreciate it.
Now, I'm not playing that because I like to pat myself on the back, but I'm playing that because I want you to know this is the real deal. I expect that it will close out. And yeah, actually we do have, if you want to put the flyers. And don't worry, I told you I'm going to have some bonus stuff that I'm going to talk to you about in just a moment. But I expect that it will sell out in these couple of days that we have here, and I hope that you join us. The big focus, bless you, the big focus is how can we create something that drives more business? How can we create something that is specifically designed, both a speech, you're going to get that video of the speech, you're going to get the video of the interview, and of course we're going to have a little extra fun with the cocktail party. So it's a 3-in-1. So hopefully you join us on that one. All right, and that's in November, by the way. How about, while they hand that out, I'll get into the bonus section. Do I have 4 minutes? I'm going to just take because they took too long to tell. All right. Bonus. All of you got to go get yourself a red velvet rope. Uh-huh. Yeah. We're here in Hollywood. All right, what does that mean? Some of you may have read, there's a book called Book Yourself Solid. If not, go get it. So I'm not stealing his stuff. I'm passing it on. I'm giving him props. He says you must have a red velvet rope, and decide who your ideal customer, target market is, and you keep that rope tight and only let in who should be going through. And of course, sometimes that loosens or tightens depending on how you're doing at a particular time in the year, but you have to know who should be coming through on the other side of that rope. So go get, figuratively, that red velvet rope. All right, referrals. Who wants more referrals? All right, just those people raise your hands. Come over here. We'll come on top. No, I'll tell you. All right, I want you to have more referrals. There's an amazing book called Don't Keep Me a Secret. And the problem with the word referrals is the word referrals. Hey, can you give me a referral? It means like, I got to ask somebody I know. Do you want to open your wallet for Jess over here? It's just like, it feels sticky. It's not good. Introductions. That feels fantastic. This, by the way, changed my business. This was about 4 years ago. Just this one strategy. Hey, somebody says, hey, you want to know what? Jess, thank you so much. This really worked out. I'm so glad I did this. Thank you. You should always lead with thank you. You should thank them. And hey, don't keep me a secret. And if there's anybody that you can make an introduction to, I'd love it. How's that feel? Much better? It's so great. And the sweet spot of asking for that referral, saying don't keep me a secret, maybe there's an introduction, is at that moment when somebody says, I'm so glad that I worked with you. This was the best decision. That's the sweet spot. Don't wait till just some other day. And of course, you can do the same thing through emails. And you can send it out and you can say, hey, maybe you could just make an introduction, or you can forward this as an introduction. Just that one piece of introductions completely changed my business. And of course, this is an enlightened room when it comes to social proof. But don't hide those testimonials. We talked a little bit about testimonials. You saw I have video. Again, at that moment when somebody says something nice, take out your smartphone and say, well, first say thank you. Be a human being. We covered that earlier. And then say, that was so nice. Hey, would you mind? Do you think, would you be willing to say that on video? And 99.999% of the time, I've had people say yes. 0.01, there was one woman who said, I need to make myself up first. Don't shoot me now. And she ran off. And then she gave me something after the fact. So testimonials, make sure that you are waiting for those and that you take them out. Boy, video tells such a better story. And it doesn't translate the same. This was the best in 40 years, written on a piece of paper. But it's different. Some guy comes up and says, and he just came up the day after I did my presentation this summer and said that to me. How great is that? If there's any rating system, so lawyers use Avo, and other folks here, it could be anything on the internet, it could be Yelp, whatever it is, manage your ratings. Go in there and see what people are saying about you. Ask them to say more things about you. Make sure that you are putting videos on YouTube and that you're using it as a way to communicate to people. Obviously, this particular group is shooting more video and doing more of these things. Make sure it makes it there and it doesn't sit on your computer. Ooh, that's sometimes the hardest part. All the stuff in my reel that played in over here sat on my computer for years. And then eventually, oh yeah, I guess I should do what these guys talk about. And I'll give them props because, no joke, I've been going around, so I've been doing this now for 11 years, separate from my old TV days. And Nick played his sizzle reel as he was going and doing his thing. And I realized, how did a former TV guy not think of that? Go do the sizzle reel. So make sure you do that. And of course, make sure that social proof is all over. Oh, teriyaki chicken. Yep, you knew I was going to bring it up. No, you didn't. What is teriyaki chicken? You have to have, you may have been in a shopping mall and you walk by and they, here, would you like the free sample? And what happens? Oh, I don't really, well, maybe I'll just have one over there. What happens 2 minutes later? I'm sitting there eating teriyaki chicken. That's something else that changed my business. Give something to people. And give to give. Don't worry about the other side. But if you give them that piece of teriyaki chicken, whatever your teriyaki chicken is, it will help you in your business. And I'll end on this, which is a great Zig Ziglar quote. You can have everything in life you want if you'll just help other people get what they want. So go out there and help people big. Thank you for giving me some time today.
All right. Big round of applause for Jess Todtfeld. Thanks, buddy.